This is going to be a hopefully short tutorial on how to build the fused cube. Move the camera. As you can see here, this is a fused cube, obviously. Now, what makes this a fused cube instead of a normal Siamese cube of any type is that you can only turn 3 faces: the right, front, and up faces, and they are joined in a 2x2x2 block on each cube, meaning you can't pull them apart. You can't do, on this cube, you can't do L moves. You can do small L, but you can't do L. When holding it from this way, you can't do L or small L. You can't do back moves. You can't do down moves. You can do U, R, and F. Now, as you can see, the stickers on this are very ratty, and that is because this is a DNChing stickered cube, which I do not prefer for mods. However, that is life. So first, in this tutorial, I will go over the materials that you need in order to make a fused cube. First, of course, you will need 2 cubes. I use DNChing because they are cheap, they're great for modding, and they are white. And there are a massive shortage of white mods, in my opinion. Now, as you can see, I did remove 1 sticker, and that was just to help me remember where the fused cube is going to go. So you'll need 2 cubes. Any cubes will work. 2 store-bought, 2 DIY, 2 DNChing, 2 of any kind of 3x3 cube. You will also need a pen or a Sharpie. You will need super glue. I use Loctite super glue, and mine happens to have a little brush in it, which makes it easy to apply, but any kind of super glue will work. And then you will need either a Dremel with a sanding bit, or you'll need sandpaper. In this tutorial, I will be using a Dremel as it is much faster and easier to use, but all of these steps that I show will be able to be done with sandpaper. It just will take much more time than with the Dremel. So first, let me move my materials out of the way. Let me first show you how the core of the fused cube is made. And how I will do this is by taking apart one of the 2 cubes. Unlike the Siamese cube, actually very much like the Siamese cube, the cores are connected. But unlike the Siamese cube, they are connected in a much more complicated way. So as you can see here, the centerpiece on this cube, in this case, the right and front centerpieces, are glued on to the down centerpiece right here on the second cube. And the right and up faces are onto the back, and then the left here. And also, the corners have been rounded here. The centers have been rounded down a little, as you can see, a little too much, to allow the edge pieces, when put into the cube, to slide around, rather than hitting on the corner and not being able to turn. So that sanding will be one of the first things we do. Also, if you sand it too much, like I did here, it will cause 2 things. 1, it will cause lots of lockups, because it'll slide back in here like this, and then when you try to turn it, it'll lock up. I've modded this a little bit more to get it to stop from the lockup after sanding it too much, but it's still not as good as it could be. And also, when it's way back like this, with the huge gap here, it pops out much easier. So you want to avoid that at all costs. The glue joints are here and here, here and here, and here and here, which means you will be making 6 glue joints simultaneously. So, I will put that in the back as kind of a reference for you. Move these pieces aside, and then I will show you how to start the creation of your fused cube. First, you want to take your 2 cubes and decide where you want your fuse to happen. Now, as you can tell, when you fuse one of the 2x2 blocks, 2x2x2 blocks, you will get the opposite 3 sides as this cube. So, with the fused core attached, you can turn the white, green, and red. Now this really only matters if you care which color scheme your cubes have. So the reason I chose this piece right here for mine is because I want one to have red, white, and blue, because I am American and I like America. And the other one will have green, orange, and yellow. Or you can mix them up if you want to, and have two of the same or whatever. But by doing it like this, you'll be sure to have the same color scheme on the whole cube. So then what you want to do is choose the two corners, like I just said. And since it'll be lined up like this, you want to take out this corner and this corner, because it'll be lined up here. So I will be taking out these pieces here. So first on this cube, you want to take out these pieces here. 2, 4, 7 total pieces. 4 corners and 3 edges. Just take them out, and the center corner that you just took out, these 4 pieces here will not be reused. So you can take these 4 pieces and put them aside. Then these 3 corner pieces will be used again, so you want to keep those. So you should have this on both of your cubes. These 4 pieces will not be used, and these 3 will be used. Then what you want to do is check to make sure that the way you've got them lined up is the way you want it. So by putting it together like this, it is correctly matched up, and it looks good. Green, yellow, blue, white, orange, red. So now what you want to do is, while just holding it, hold it with one hand if you can, like this, and set it on the table. You want to take your pen or Sharpie, pen preferably because it is finer point, and you want to draw a line from this part of the centerpiece right here. Let me zoom it in a little bit. Will it focus? There we go. You want to draw a line, straight line, from this point here, see where it matches up with this centerpiece, to this part of the centerpiece here. You want to draw it straight across. And you want to do that on all of them. Now it doesn't need to be exact, but the closer you get, the better. And I will just do this on one cube for now. And as you can see, I have all of those corners marked off, like this. So I will zoom out again. Now what you want to do is take your Dremel or sandpaper and sand it down. I like to take the cap off. Actually, just leave the cap on for now. And that's what it should look like when you're done. Just cutting off a little bit, making it a little bit rounded if you are using a Dremel, because rounded is very nice and it will make your fused cube smoother. Now I'll stop the camera and I will do the other 6, but you do the other 6 the exact same way. While creating your cut sections, as I have done completely on this cube, as a side note, if you want to make sure that you've cut it enough before continuing on, you can hold your 2 cubes together, like I am here, and try to turn this layer. If it turns, then you're fine. But if it doesn't turn, or if this piece either gets caught, or is way too loose, then you've done something wrong. So here is an approximation, if you can't measure yourself, on how much to cut it down. It's very little, as opposed to the huge amount that I did on this one. So now, once again, I will finish cutting this cube.